Okay, welcome to the third video of Chapter 6. This is your last Chapter 6 video before going on to the examples, or the two worksheets that you will have to do. Today's video is about word problems. We're going to be doing two word problems, one together, one that you're going to do on your own. These word problems are going to put together everything that we've learned so far in algebra, and specifically the inequalities that we have done this chapter. So let's just jump right into the first example. It says you want to throw a party for your after-school algebra class. Your parents give you $100 to support your cause. You are planning to bring pizza and soda to the party. Each pizza costs $10, while each case of soda costs $8. Let X represent the number of pizzas you can buy. Let Y represent the number of cases of soda you can buy. So part A, write an inequality that represents the different number of pizzas and cases of soda that you can buy. So basically what's going on, your parents give you $100 for this party. You want to buy pizzas and you want to buy soda using that $100. Each pizza costs you $10, each case of soda costs you $8. So you want to figure out, how many can I buy using my $100? So part A, write an inequality. So we're going to have one inequality in terms of the number of pizzas and the number of cases of soda, which is X and Y. Now let's look at pizzas. It tells me that I can buy X pizzas, because X is the number of pizzas you can buy. Now each pizza costs me $10. So for each pizza that I buy, if I buy X of them, they're all going to cost me $10 each. So I buy 3 pizzas, it's going to cost me $30. $10 for each pizza. Now I'm also going to buy some soda, which is Y. Those cost me $8 each, so that's going to be 8Y. So 10X, those are all the pizzas I buy. 8Y, those are all the cases of soda I can buy. Now, I only have $100 to spend. I don't want to spend any more money than that because my parents only gave me $100. So this is what I buy. That has to be less than or equal to $100. It has to be less than or equal to $100 because that's the only money I have. I only have $100. So I don't want to spend any more. I don't want any more to come out of my pocket. So that's for A. That's your inequality. Now B says graph your inequality. So I'm going to rewrite it again. I have 10x plus 8y is less than or equal to 100. Okay. Now I'm going to graph this using an XY chart. If you want to solve for y, you can do that. Remember that this is looking for 2 points. So the first one says put 0 in for x. So I have 10 times 0 plus 8y is less than or equal to 100. That's just 0. So I end up with 8y is less than or equal to 100. I'm then going to divide by 8. I get y is less than or equal to 12.5. So that's going to be my first point, is 0, 12.5. My second point says put 0 in for y. So this time I get 10x plus 8 times 0 is less than or equal to 100. Now 8 times 0, that's just 0. So I'm just going to cross that out. So I have 10x is less than or equal to 100. If I divide by 10, I get x is less than or equal to 10. Don't really care about the inequality. All I care about is that point 10. So here are the 2 points that I have to graph. 0, 12.5 and 10, 0. And now I'm going to need to graph those. First thing, I want to label my axes. X is the number of pizzas. Y is the number of cases of soda. Okay. Now I'm going to need to figure out how I'm scaling, what I'm counting by. So first thing I'm going to count is how many boxes are actually here. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I only have 10 boxes. 12.5 is not going to fit. So that 12.5 is going to be somewhere on the y-axis. So on the y-axis, maybe I should count by 2's instead. So I'm going to count by 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, and 20. Now 10, 0, that's going to fit. It's going to be the last box. So on the x-axis, I can just count by ones. Okay, so now I'm going to graph my points. 10, 0, that's right out here. 0, 12.5, I'm going to have to guess a little bit. So if I go up, this right here is going to be 13. It's right in the middle of 12 and 14. So 12.5 is going to be right here. Now I'm ready to connect my points. Okay, so I'm going to do that. Okay, I know that wasn't the most accurate, but it's kind of hard to write on a computer. Okay, now this is an inequality, so I am going to have to do some shading also. Remember, I normally plug in that point 0, 0. When I do that, I get 10 times 0 plus 8 times 0 is less than or equal to 100. Those are both just 0. So I get 0 is less than or equal to 100. That is certainly true. So I'm going to shade on the side that has 0, 0. So here's all my shading. Now one thing I forgot to mention. Normally when you graph, I give you the XY coordinate plane with all the quadrants. Now the reason I didn't do that is because X and Y in this case, we're only interested in when they're positive. We're only interested in a positive number of pizzas and sodas. It wouldn't make sense to buy a negative number of pizzas. So that's why we're only looking at the first quadrant. We only want to look at when X and Y are positive in this case. But that was B. So C then says list 2 combinations that satisfy your inequality. You must purchase at least 1 pizza and at least 1 can of soda. So all that's asking you for is it's asking you to pick 2 points from 2 points in the shaded region. So like this point would work. This is 2, 2. Because remember that on my y's I'm counting by 2. So this is 2 pizzas and 2 cases of soda. Then it's asking me to pick another one, another point. I could pick 0, 0, but that's just boring point. So pick some point in the middle. So like how about this point right here? This is 3, 8. So this is 3 pizzas and 8 cases of soda. That's it. We're finished with the problem. So that's the one that we're going to do together. Now you have one that's similar that you're going to do on your own. So I'm going to flip and show you that example. So this is the example that you're going to be trying. It's exactly the same as the previous example. You're going to write an inequality, graph it, and then write 2 possible combinations. This should take you a few minutes. So pause the video, give yourself 5, 6, 7 minutes, and complete the whole problem. Write the inequality, graph it, and list 2 possible combinations. When you are finished, come back and play the video, and I will go over it with you. Good luck. Okay, let's see how we did. Your school is hosting a bake sale to raise money for a new pool. You have offered to bake cupcakes and cookies for the bake sale. Your school has given you $40 to use in your baking. Each batch of cupcakes costs you $8, while each batch of cookies costs you $6. Let X represent the number of batches of cupcakes that you can bake, and let Y represent the number of batches of cookies that you can bake. Write an inequality that represents the different number of cupcakes and cookies that you can bake. Okay, so again, we're writing one inequality that's looking at the different number of cupcakes and cookies. X, on one hand, is the number of batches of cupcakes I can make. So I'm going to bake X batches of cupcakes, but each batch is going to cost me $8. So that's going to be 8X. So if I bake 2 batches of cupcakes, that's going to cost me $16, 2 for each batch. Now I'm also baking some cookies. That's going to be Y. Each batch of cookies is $6, so that's going to be 6Y. So 6 times Y. Y number of batches, each one costs me $6. Now I'm limited by the amount of money that the school has given me. The school has given me $40, so that's all I can spend for this baking. This is how much I spend I cannot spend more than $40, so that has to be less than or equal to $40. 40 is the most amount that I can spend. So this is the inequality that you should have gotten. You are then asked to graph the inequality. So I'm going to rewrite it. 8x plus 6y is less than or equal to 40. Okay, I like doing this xy chart. Again, I'm looking for 2 points. So the first point, right here, is saying substitute 0 for x. So I have 8 times 0 plus 6y is less than or equal to 40. 8 times 0 is just 0. So I end up having to divide by 6. I get y is less than or equal to 6.7 when I round. So that's going to be 1 point, a 0, 6.7. Now this point is saying put in a 0 for y this time. So I have 8x plus 6 times 0 is less than or equal to 40. Now that 6 times 0 is just 0. I end up dividing by 8, and I get x is less than or equal to 5. So my 2 points are 0, 6.7 and 5, 0. Now I need to graph these. So first thing is I'm going to label my x and y axis. I was already told that x is the number of batches of cupcakes. And I was told that the y-axis, which I cut off a little bit, is the number of batches of cookies. I have 10 boxes. 10 boxes on the graph. The highest I have to go to is 6.7. So I can just count by ones. Okay, so 1 point is 0, 6.7. 6.7, all you have to know is that it's between 6 and 7. It's going to be a little closer to 7, though. So 0, 6.7, it's about there. 5, 0, that's about here. And then I'm going to connect them. Okay, this is an inequality, so I need to figure out my shading. I figure out the shading by substituting 0, 0. So I have 8 times 0 plus 6 times 0 is less than or equal to 40. This is 0 plus 0 is less than or equal to 40. Now, is that true? Well, hopefully I know that yes, that is true. Because that is a true solution, I want to shade where 0, 0 is, which is going to be all of this stuff. So that's what you should have gotten for B. Now for C, it says list 2 combinations that satisfy your inequality. Now for this one, we might have different answers, which is okay. You should have chosen 2 combinations in that shaded region. So for example, I might choose this one right here, this point. So this is the point 3, 1. That's going to be 3 batches of cupcakes, and then 1 batch of cookies. Now it does say that we have to bake at least 1 batch of both, which we did. Another point that I might choose is this one up here. So that's going to be the point 1, 4, which is 1 batch of cupcakes and 4 batches of cookies. So you had to choose 2 points in that shaded region. Hopefully that went well. If you have any questions, please make sure to ask either myself or Mr. Teresi. At this point, you should have watched all 3 inequality videos. If you have, you are ready to move on to the worksheets. Please raise your hand and either ask myself or Mr. Teresi for the first worksheet. Good luck.